Misfit Nation, are you ready? Tonight, we slammed that door on May and kicked open the gates to June. A new month, a fresh start, a new opportunity to chase goals, build momentum, and stack victories one day at a time. June isn't about what happened yesterday. It's about what you're going to do tomorrow. It's about longer days, bigger dreams, and finding that extra gear when everyone else starts slowing down. Because that's what misfits do. We don't wait for the opportunities, we create them. We don't run from challenges, we accept them. And we don't survive, we thrive. So whatever kind of week you've had, whatever obstacles you've faced, whatever mountains are standing in front of you, leave them behind. Because for the next hour, we're bringing the energy, the laughs, the stories, the inspiration that make Tuesday nights unlike anything else on the internet. Misfit Nation, I need you loud tonight. I need you fired up. I need you ready to welcome a brand new month the only way we know how. So make some noise for Jake on his own, who's bringing grit, the passion, the brotherhood, and the chaos this week. Steven, have fun on your flight. Thanks for being here this weekend. The ToosDay Crüe. Let's welcome it in, Jakey boy.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Like the producer said, I'm solo tonight. Steven spent his weekend with his brother Rich at the Firecracker 400 in Nashville, Tennessee. It was exciting on TV. I hope it was just exciting being there at the track. We wish him safe travels on his way back to New Jersey, and you will see him on here again next week. Hey, it's been a great June so far. We're only 2 days in, but I feel like I've got a lot accomplished. Almost didn't make it to the show tonight. I was out changing oil and greasing my tractor, so and lost track of the time. But hey, I'm here, and so I say, hey, welcome back to the ToosDay Crüe. And, you know, as always, we are a part of the Misfit Nation. We welcome all misfits out there. If you're out there, remember to like and subscribe, because every button you push helps us reach more folks. And we really appreciate all the support that you've given us throughout the years. Now, tonight, we're going to be joined by a man who understands leadership from both the front lines and the boardroom. Andrew Garcia is an active law enforcement professional, detective, entrepreneur, and founder and CEO of Syndicus USA. His story is one of resilience, service, education, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. As the first in his family to graduate college, Andrew transformed his passion for public service into a mission-driven company focused on advancing operational readiness and public safety solutions. Tonight, we're going to go beyond all titles and positions. We're going to talk about leadership, sacrifice, entrepreneurship, adversity, and what it takes to build something meaningful while continuing to serve others. Misfit, let's give a huge welcome to Andrew Garcia.
Hey, Jay.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. How are you doing this evening?
Good, sir. Just be happy to be alive another day and working hard and doing the Lord's work.
Hey, you know what? Being alive another day, that first thing when you open your eyes, you know you've got something to be thankful for.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey, I gave about 5 cents worth of your biography. Why don't you fill the Misfit Nation in on the other 95 cents? Start from wherever you want and bring us up to today. Tell us who Andrew Garcia is.
Absolutely. And again, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Like Jake mentioned, my name is Andrew Garcia. I grew up here in Southern California. Unfortunately, not the funnest state when it comes to certain things, but nonetheless, it's home. I grew up here in Southern California, went to school out here, went to Don Bosco High School. It's a technical high school, engineering high school. Back in the day, it actually used to go for 5 years. You would do 3 years in high school, get you the high school diploma, and then 2 years for your AA in science and engineering. I ended up, I loved that. It was a good time. I ran track in high school. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to run track. I was a pole vaulter. I love physics, obviously, and science. So I was a pole vaulter, got to do that. in college. Went to school in Boston, went to Worcester State University, and then ended up getting my undergrad in criminology and Spanish for the professions. And then right after that, I went to BU, and I was working on, I'm literally 2 classes away. I don't know why I haven't finished it. Maybe it's the price. I don't know. But I actually studied cybercrime and all that good stuff in regards to, you know, understanding crime and hackers and data breach and all that good stuff when it comes to computers. And that was back in 2015. So I got to, which is really, really cool. I actually entered the academy in 2013 for a agency here in Southern California. It's probably the largest in the country. So if you do a Google search, you'll be able to figure that one out real quick. And the funny story behind that is I didn't want to be a cop. That was not my goal at all. Fairly simple. I wanted to do something more from like a law standpoint as an attorney. I wanted to go to law school. I wanted to do something in regards to opening up a law firm or opening up my business, but things don't always play out. And I look at it as God telling me, hey, dude, you're not ready yet. You need to go this route first, and then go this route first, figure out your life, mature a little bit. And then, you know, we can go into the next phase of what's meant for you in life. Right. So, my uncle goes, hey, dude, you could stay here for free for a year. I'm like, oh, I like that. Or you can stay here for 6 months and you're going to pay rent, then you got to go. So the obvious was I want to stay here for free for a year and pay off some loans. And at that time, he was I want to say he was a sergeant in personnel. He's like, look, as long as your record's clean, which we know it is, you can get past your background, you get past your polygraph, all that good stuff. That's all on you. You should be in the academy, no problem. And I graduated college in 2013, my undergrad, and jumped right into it. Was in the academy within 2.5 months of graduating, which is great because I had just come off of track season my senior year. So it worked out well. Ended up, you know, loving it. Did custody and patrol and had a good time. Understood what it was like to be a police officer, I guess, or lack of better terms. Understood the no vacations, no holidays, none of that good stuff because I was a young guy.
Night shift.
Yeah, night shift. And actually, you know what? I really liked night shift. Night shift was pretty fun. I don't know. It was just that excitement, that rush. You're waiting for that computer to give you the next call, and or you're just keeping your observational awareness out there, and you're seeing crime literally happen right in front of you, especially here in Southern California, which was actually really neat. Taught you a lot, and it taught me a lot about myself and what my capabilities are. And every time I did something, I was able to grow and grow on top of that, and really structure how I was as a police officer in the field, which was great. It was awesome. I mean, I can't thank my uncle enough for that one. That was a good experience. And then I want to say in 2021, that's when everything kind of changed. So in 2021, I got into a really bad fight at work with the suspect. Just to save you guys the cinematic, dramatic punchline, I ended up tearing a rotator cuff. I tore 5 tendons in my hand, severed my tendon in my thumb, tore my bicep, damaged my ulnar nerve, and then damaged my elbow on my right arm, which is my dominant hand. And that was pretty much, yeah. Guys on PCP are not very nice, to say the least.
No.
That was, just to describe to you real quick what this guy did not feel. There was 4 of us fighting him, and it felt like it was us fighting 100 guys. Like it was insane. He just was so high, and he was just gone. Didn't know where he was at, perception, strength. I mean, and we fought guys before on PCP, but this one was obviously the worst one. To the point where we had, you know, deadly force was authorized, and we just couldn't. Like it was that bad of a fight that we couldn't even reach our weapons. Like it was just a really, really bad day. Fight lasted for about 2 minutes plus. Our partners get there. They help us take this guy into the backseat of the patrol car. Well, then this guy puts his head through the backseat of the window, so that didn't help us. He ends up going to the hospital. He ends up flatlining twice, recovers, survives, and didn't remember a thing. So just to give you an idea of how bad that drug is. So fast forward to everything. I was injured. was at the hospital, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Like, yeah, I have my degrees, but this is my right hand, this is my shooting hand. What's gonna happen? So I had my 2 surgeries on my shoulder and my hand. The doctor was like, we don't think you should go back to work. I'm like, you're funny. There's no way. What am I gonna do? I'm not going back to work. Yeah, you're out of your mind. Like, I got to do something. They're like, no, well, you need to take the year off. We need to recover, do this, that, and the other. I said, okay. And I did that, and I got bored really quick. And I'm like, what if I can't go back to work? Is what was really going through my head. Because you're sitting at home Monday through Friday for a whole year, and you're pondering like, okay, I can only clean the house so much. I can only watch so many Netflix movies. I can only play so many video games, and I can't invite anybody over because they're all at work. So what am I doing? I'm stuck in just pondering and thinking. So that's where the idea at the time came out to, well, you know what? I want to start a business. At first, I wanted to do a gym. That was so close, yet so far it fell through. I was like, man, this sucks. And then my friend introduced me to my old partner, and my old partner was like, hey, I could build guns. I was like, okay, cool. Here's, I don't know, $1,500, build me a gun. And he did. And we actually went out to the desert. We put a string on a fixture with the gun set on top so it wouldn't move. And it had 3 rounds in it. And my partner at the time was like, what are you doing? I was like, not that I don't trust you, but we're going to shoot this from behind my truck by putting the string. I love guns, but I'm not ready to put my hand, seeing that I already almost lost my arm, I'm not ready to put my hand in that trigger well. And I remember pulling the string, and 1 round went off, and that was our whole day. We were so excited. The gun didn't work after that. We had no idea what we were doing. I'm like, all right, cool, it works. Let's find out how we're going to fix this. And I get home, and I really start to ponder. I'm like, okay, I've always wanted a business. What if something doesn't happen? I love my guns. I love owning them. I love, just shooting in general. Let's see what we can do. And that quickly grew. During COVID. We ended up going from 1 gun to 3 guns. On the 3rd iteration of the gun, we ended up figuring out what the issue was, and we actually got the gun running a full magazine, no problem. And we started off with an AK-47. And at first, we chose that gun because I was like, okay, market vulnerability, it's scarce, everyone has an AR. I'm not ready to do pistols. Let's just see where we go with this. So we ended up naming the company Brammer Armory. So I'm like, okay. Cool name. I was like, all right, my partner picked it at the time. I was like, hey, look, to start off, I'll fund it. I'll put the money up. We'll go 50-50. I'll take the risk. I already see proof of concept. Let's see what we can do. So I went into it blind. I was learning sourcing and all kinds of good stuff, bookkeeping, everything you don't want to do, all the stuff that isn't fun but is fun in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Well, then I was like, wow, like anything else, I might as well just dive into this and see where we go. And I did. I started making phone calls. People started buying guns. Hey, I need 10. Hey, I need 10 more. So I'm like, oh, okay. So they're like, hey, I need your FFL and this, that, and the other. So we did everything right. Everything was obviously, the way it was supposed to be legally and all that good stuff. That was the easy part, believe it or not, doing the ATF and the DOJ in California, believe it or not. Yeah. The hard part was understanding how to source stuff. I never knew. At one point we had, hey, we need 50 guns this month, rifles, AKs. It was me and my partner. And I'm like, we have a shed in the back of my house that'll barely fit us, and we're building guns in there. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to have to move to the living room and the kitchen and dining room. Like, this is not going to work. So I have a picture, and I wish I had it so I could show it to you. I literally have a picture. I have about 100 receivers on 5 tables in my living room. Then I have another huge dining room table, like a shipping stuff, like the boxes to put the guns in. But I had it in such a way where it was like an assembly line. Like, you would start here and move all the way around until you get to right before the assembly line with the boxes is where we would go and take the guns to get tested. So at one point, my house was smelling like grease. It smelled like gunpowder and just straight metal, just straight dirty. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. And everything was great. And I'm like, you know what? As crazy as this sounds and looks, if anybody were to walk into my house right now, they think I'm crazy. I'm sure if the ATF and the DOJ walked in, they'd be like, oh, well, you have your licenses, you're good, but really, you're going to use up your whole house to do this? So we made money that year. I was like, we need a warehouse. Like, no matter what, we need something close. We need a warehouse. Like, this isn't going to work. So we did. We got a warehouse, and I started to understand more of how a business was ran. We needed stuff Cerakote. It was costing an outrageous amount. I was like, you know what? Let's bring in another partner. Let's reduce the cost. Let's do this. Let's do that. And let's start really running this like a business so that we can actually make some money. And we did. We became one of the, I would say one of the first handful of Cerakoters here in Southern California doing volume for gun stuff. Again, everyone's like, what do you mean you're in California? I go, yeah, we're in California. I know you can say what you want, but it's home. There's nothing I can do. I wish I could move. I would love to. Now I can. Now I can say, hey, let's move pretty soon. But that's how it was. So we ended up dropping prices, and unfortunately, that partner wasn't who he said he was, and I had to ask him to leave, and he left respectfully, and I'll leave it there at that. With that being said, I was like, okay, well, shoot, what do I do now? Like, I got these guys that are working with me that have my back. I still love being a cop. At this point, I think we're like 2.5 years in, 3 years, I went back to work. Doctor was like, hey, that's not a good idea, but I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to, I'm still, back then I think I was 30. I'm 36 now. I was like, no, I can still do this. Like, I don't understand, like, what's stopping me? Well, that worked for so long, and then was running the business simultaneously, growing the Cerakote. We had training. We added a training division. So we're training civilians, CCW, concealed carry weapon out here in California. We were doing all kinds of stuff there. We had a full shoot house, doing CQB, firearm safety, advanced pistol, rifle, shotgun classes. Like, we were starting to scale pretty good, and things were going great, to a point where I had time to focus on another part that I really wanted to do, which is the defense side of my company. Is I wanted to build a drone that was able to detect weapons in an active shooter situation and teach people how to do that. And we did. We were successful. We built a drone all the way to the point where I was able to put it on a small drone and a big drone, and we were able to detect a pistol from 40 yards and a rifle from 40 yards, and able to send a message to whoever the officers were in that area saying, hey, there's a gun at station level, whatever, right? Or section, whatever.
Okay.
We'll send them a text and a picture, along with real-time mapping, 4D and 3D mapping of the area, so officers would get a full rendering of what they were going into, if it was a school, building, or business. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, what do I want to know as a cop going into certain things, right? So that was it. So all these things are happening, and then boom, there goes my arm again. I completely tear the bicep. I don't know how I did it, to be very honest. The doctor was like, dude, it's very fragile. This is going to happen. It's not if, it's when. I'm just letting you know. Wow. And he wrote it on the report and everything. I'm like, yeah. I work out a lot. I'm good. I'll just build the muscle around it. It was just inevitable. And at that point, I was just like, well, this is a sign. What am I going to do? I did my calling. I was promoted to a detective. I did that for a while, and I loved it. I really, really did. I loved not only solving crimes, believe it or not, but understanding where people were coming from, understanding the dynamics of a crime, and also understanding that sometimes not everyone's guilty either, which actually was a really cool part for me, because I was able to, there was a handful of crimes where the people that were arrested, after doing some digging, after doing some research, part of that was what we're known for in this country is, serving justice and understanding justice, right? Not everyone's guilty. And if I can solve that before it gets to the courts, and that's exactly what I want to do, right? If someone is or has the ability to live a free life and all the evidence and facts are there, then that's my job. There's no reason why we should detain someone that isn't a criminal versus someone that is. And I just love doing that. And when I got injured the second time, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? We're still building guns. We're doing great training. We're doing great Cerakoting, all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm like, there has to be something else. And if I'm getting injured, there's a purpose here. I can't help the public. How do I help my partners? How do I help the country, other officers, first responders, military personnel, so on and so forth? And I made a lot of friends. One of my great mentors, many of my great mentors, but one in particular is Nate Holvarth. He's the former CEO of Staccato. He's now with Sons of Liberty Gunworks. He's been a great friend of mine. He's helped me out through a lot, not so much specifically in a gun, but more just the ideology of running a business and what it takes from a business standpoint. For those that don't know, Nate was more business oriented before he went into the gun world, and
Okay.
that's where his strengths are at, right? And he's just a very humble family man, and I'm grateful for his knowledge of business in itself. I have another friend, Dr. Sean Kilashadi, here in Newport Beach. He's one of the best plastic surgeons on the West Coast, and again, same thing for him. Not so much his plastic surgery, because I'm not a doctor, but his mindset on, he's an entrepreneur. He wasn't born in this country. He came here. He took advantage of what this country has to offer, gave back to this country, and then worked his butt off to build a very successful business now. So these mentors, plus many more that I can talk for hours on, really kind of gave me an idea. I'm like, well, what do I want to do? Let me build a pistol, because that's where I see the discrepancy and where the issues lie with our department, with our officers, with many other departments, of giving them a tool that's much more accurate, much more reliable, and potentially being able to save not only the public, but also save their lives in their worst day, like mine, right? I didn't get to use my weapon. Thank God I didn't. There's a reason why. And I'm grateful. I'm glad that I'm alive. I'm glad my partner's alive. And I'm even glad that this guy's alive. Hopefully his life changed, right? So with that all being said, I was like, I want to build a pistol that is not going to fail. Now, nothing's perfect. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can put that pistol through its paces as hard as I can, and it fails during testing, and I'm able to understand why it fails, rectify it, and then get it out in the field, then I've done my job. And that's what we did. We came up with the Cryptic. It's a 1911 DS. It's a 4.5-inch pistol, made for duty, steel slide, steel barrel, aluminum frame, polymer grip, RMR, has front rear sights, everything you would want for a duty gun and more. It was just approved a few months ago for a small department out here in California. It's called Port Waimini. If I'm saying that right, people are going to make fun of me. They approved it for duty use. I know I always screw that name up. And then just most recently, I don't know how much you guys know about California, and I'll just kind of give you a 30-second rundown. There's a sheriff called Chad Bianco. He's running for governor. Today, coincidentally, is election day here for our governor and LA mayor and a couple other stuff, obviously, for the state. They, Riverside County Sheriff's Department, where Chad Bianco is the current sheriff at, it's the 4th largest sheriff's department in the country, and I think the 2nd or 3rd largest in California. They have about 4,800 to 5,000 officers.
Wow.
They've been testing our gun. Yeah, it's huge. They've been testing our gun for over 100 days, and I got a text personally from him last week saying that, hey, congratulations, I approved your gun for full duty use, which was huge for me. After being everything that I've gone through, everything that I've experienced, me and my team have experienced, my family, I was just like, hey, we just got approved. And I got a text from the sheriff, and here it is. And this is what he's saying. And it was probably the most fulfilling moments of my life. And understanding adversity, right? Like you're getting kicked in the ground while you're on the ground. Things are happening financially, emotionally, physically, mentally. I don't understand the concept of giving up. And even when I feel it, I just shut that part off of my brain. I just put myself on autopilot so I can kick myself back up and just get back to work, right? So in a nutshell, that's where we're at today. And what I've done with, not just the help of my team, but my family and my friends. And I've just been able to do something that I really want to do. And I'm hoping that, I just got back from Miami yesterday. I was testing with some SWAT teams out there, talking to different departments. They have this new program that's actually really cool in Florida, where it's called the Guardian program. There has to be an officer or security guard in every school. And one of the bigger private security companies was able to test my gun and say, hey, we really like this. We want to move forward with some more testing and possibly some purchases. So I'm a big component or a big believer in everything happens for a reason. I'm very grateful for where I'm at. I'm very grateful for what's, unfolding in front of me. And I'm very excited to see where the future is going to hold. There's so much more. I just started another business too, complete opposite, about a year ago with my other partner. So we're moving on that too. So it's been a roller coaster, but I can't let one situation dictate the rest of my life. I just got to keep pushing forward and staying positive.
Yeah, and I tell you what, first of all, I commend you for being injured as bad as you were, and then having the initiative of, you could have sat back and said, you know what, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to collect my disability and do whatever. But no, you didn't do that.
No.
What am I going to do? Well, hey, let's start a company while I'm having my off time. And then went back to work. Not only went back to work, became a detective. And I got a question about that here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, that's amazing. And matter of fact, our first question that come up is going to kind of address that. I'm going to pop it up here from Shoddy Tree 7. You wear two demanding hats, detective and CEO. How do you balance serving your community while building and growing a company without burning out? Thank you for that question, Shoddy Tree 7.
I did burn out. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I didn't. I had to learn the meaning of delegation. I had to. When I'm at work and when that uniform's on, I don't focus on my business, as hard as that is. And that was the hardest thing for me to do. You can't, like, if you and I are partners, Jake, and we're in the same car, how do I give you my full time and attention as your partner if I'm focused on something else? And that was the hardest part, because once you're in that car and or we're working undercover or we're doing something in regards to helping the community, that's priority number one. If I'm at work there, that's the first priority. It just is what it is. It's what I signed up to do, per se, as cliche as that sounds, but it's also, I'm there for you as well. You're my partner. So I have to focus on that. So it was really hard, because when I got off of work, whether that was on time, which was never, and or when days that I didn't work, I had to do double, triple the work, because I had to play catch up. I had to see what I missed. I had to, return phone calls, return emails, and I felt dumb, for lack of better words, because I felt like I wasn't fulfilling to my customers or the people that were trying to reach out to me. And I was trying to get them to understand, like, I'm a detective and I have cases and I have court, unfortunately, but I'm also running a business. So one of my growing pains was learning how to delegate to my team. And finally I had to ask, I'm like, hey guys, I need you to handle this. I need you to do this. I can't do it during the day. I'm physically not in the building. You guys got to handle it. And thank God I have a handful of people on my team that stepped up, that were able to help me out, that recognized the things that I needed to do, that started learning a lot of the things, compliance work. Chris handles my Cerakote work, and so on and so forth, of how that all ended up working out in a good way. But this is one of those instances where I had to fall and falter to understand where a weak point was at and accept it, and then figure out a solution. As one of my good friends says, problem and solution. Problem is I was burnt out. Solution was learning how to delegate appropriately and still learning to navigate through this wonderful career and the business.
All right. Now I got a question here before I go to the next one that just popped in. How big's your Cerakote oven?
Our oven? We have two. Okay, we have two ovens. They're both 6 by 8.
Okay, because my brother-in-law, he was a part owner in a gun store, and they did Cerakoting and gun coating and all that. Started off Cerakoting with a household oven.
Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people do. They either retrofit it or have a household oven. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I just had to ask how big your oven was. Okay. We got another question in here from Lunatic Man Southside. As the first person in your family to graduate college, what obstacles did you have to overcome, and how did those experiences shape your leadership style today? Very good question, Lunatic Man.
I'll be very honest with this one too. This one's actually pretty funny. I actually got this from my family. Oh, so you're too good now? So you're going to leave and go to school and not stay here and take care of the family? It is a common Latin perception that the kids take care of the family. Now, with all due respect, I totally believe in taking care of your family, being a family man. But the question I posed to them was, well, what did you come to this country for? To give yourself a better life and a better opportunity, and in hopes that your kids would have an even greater opportunity to succeed and take advantage of. I was born here. I was born in Whittier, California. So for me, it was like, well, why would you even ask me that? That was one obstacle. Second obstacle for me is I went to school in a very low poverty area. I was very fortunate enough to go to private school. And believe it or not, I had a teacher that told me, she goes, well, what do you care about going to school? You're just going to get married have a couple of baby mamas, and that's it. And I'm like,
Wow.
this is in 7th grade, by the way. I remember it very vividly, and I looked at her. I'm like, I don't understand what you mean by that. She goes, you're wasting your time. I said, okay. I go, well, my grades don't reflect that. She goes, well, yeah, it's pretty easy. You'll see when you get to high school. Okay, fair enough. Obviously, to me, that was just I didn't know how much of a fuel that was going to be for me, and it's been a big one for me. I went to high school. I went to Verbum Day. It's an all-boys Jesuit high school first semester. My mom tried to tell me because we didn't have money, I had to go there, blah, blah, blah. They gave me a scholarship. Great high school. The high school is actually an all-boys Jesuit high school in Watts, California. And
Wow.
they have, I still love that concept of the high school. I was there for a semester. They have what's called a corporate work study program, which you actually go to work once a week and a full week at the end of the month in a real either Fortune 500 company or some huge company. It was great. Obviously, I wanted to go to Bosco Tech. I got accepted. I got the opportunity to go the second semester, and I took it. And that was the engineering high school. Same thing. It's my family question, like, okay, so school, you're going to leave. You can't go to school out here, so on and so forth. So to answer that question more directly, I actually had a lot more issues with my family than anybody else because I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and go to school 3,000 miles away. And the way you just handle that is you just got to do it. And at some point, you have to say, I'm sorry. I love you, but I'm sorry. I got to do this for myself. And you got to understand. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you.
And I think once you explain that, you having a better education will enable you to help take care of your family better in the future.
Oh yeah. It's a hope of mine to be able to do that. Without a doubt, my dad, I'm the oldest in my family. So my brothers and my sisters, like, that's the goal for me. But it is a hard question to answer because I have to think back of like, man, that's right. They did complain and question why I left, but I had to do it. It's something I had to do as a man, as someone that wants to grow and build a future for myself. So I had to.
All right. Now, you discussed how being in law enforcement and being a CEO, you have to delegate. Now, what are some other leadership lessons from law enforcement that you can directly take into business?
You have to be what I loved about the academy, what I loved about field training, and even as a detective, in all of those things and in all aspects of life, you have to be able to take constructive criticism.
Okay.
You have to be able to take it. Some of it's going to be good constructive criticism. Some of it's going to be what you think may be bad constructive criticism. But as you get older, as things start to flourish, you're going to understand why it was explained to you that way. And unfortunately, sometimes it's just going to be hate constructive criticism. And it is what it is. And you have to be okay with it. You have to be okay with people not liking you. You have to be okay with people looking out for you. And you have to be okay with people wanting the best for you. There's 3 different levels of it. And unfortunately, the people that don't like you, you have to learn how to filter that out. And I think that's the biggest hurdle as a CEO, as an individual, as a person, as a human being, is we grow up thinking and caring about what other people think and for what. Because once that conversation is done, they go back to their merry way, living their life, going to their house, hanging out with their friends, going to work. They don't think about you after that. But then again, whatever they said resonates with you for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and the rest of the month. Why? The moment, and a lot of people say this, and I don't think a lot of people understand it. The moment you stop giving a damn, and I know we're live, I don't want to cuss. We stop giving a damn what other people say, and we start living for ourselves. And I think that's when we truly start to understand ourselves, and we truly start to grow as an individual. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be doing that at 25 or 65. It's just when you choose to do it. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I imagine being in law enforcement, you're pretty used to people not liking you.
All day. It's some things are black and white. Some things you're able to use the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law, but it just depends. Situations dictate. I'll keep it simple. A misdemeanor, I'm able to work with you, understand. Arguments are easy to work through and talk to. I don't like taking people to jail. I'd rather solve the issue right then and there if it's solvable. If it's a felony and you've caused harm upon another, then it is what it is. You're going to go to jail. That's just the unfortunate way of life.
Yeah. Got another question that popped in here from Make It Dente. If you could give one piece of advice to someone chasing a big goal while working a full-time job, what would it be? Thank you for that question, Make It Dente.
That's a good question. Your 9 to 5 will pay for your 9 to 5. So what I mean by that is you working your daily job and understanding you have to pay bills. You're probably you either have a family, you live by yourself, you have a home, you have rent, whatever it may be. You have to sustain that. You have to learn. One of the hardest things to do is differentiate survivability, and for you to be able to sustain, your home, a roof over your head, and having food on the table, and even having gas in your car to get to where you need to get to. Right? Those are bare principles. But I wouldn't steer away from your goals. If you want something bad enough, I've always told people, I don't give a shit what anybody tells you. If you truly want something bad enough, you go after it. There is no excuse. I was poor. I was living in a back house. First to go to college in my family. First to go to college. That's a great storyline. But I can have that storyline and not do any of that. I don't have to be self-sufficient. You have to want it more than anybody else. And even in the worst days, and it's so easy to talk about the great stuff, but I'm going to tell you something, that if you're going to go after this goal, you need to recognize the bad, which is the days that suck, the days where you're tired, the days where you think that you can't keep going, the days where you look at your bank account and you're negative back to back to back. Those are the hard days, and those are the days you really have to understand why you're doing what you're doing, and you have to truly believe in it and have a plan. I don't know how to give up. My motto is never give up, never back down. That's just me, and that's the advice I give to you, is if you can differentiate that and you can get through what I call the suck and wake up and keep going, then you're gonna get through it eventually, because we've all been through ups and downs. Unfortunately, I wasn't born into money. This would probably be a lot easier, but hey, things happen. You got to make things for yourself happen. No one's going to do it for you. Nobody. No one's going to say it.
Awesome. Nobody's going to do it for you. Now, you've been in law enforcement for a while. Mm-hmm. How has law enforcement changed over the last decade?
A lot. I would say just from 2013 to 2023, we've had a huge paradigm shift in law enforcement, from transparency to overall understanding of law enforcement as a whole. Understanding law enforcement from a technology aspect. I mean, it's changed in every section of law enforcement. And I believe it's changed for the negative, in the sense that we're so scrutinized that, one, people are not signing up to be a police officer or deputy sheriff. Two, people that are either taking an early retirement, or they're comfortable where they're at and they don't want to leave. And three, they're scared of doing their job if they're doing the right thing, because there's always bad seeds in every job. But the ones that are doing the right thing are scared of being scrutinized, sued, arrested, and having their house, cars, and 401k taken from them because they made a split-second decision. That in that state of mind that they had, they thought the threat was inevitable. They make a decision like they're trained to do, and they do everything right, but yet they get sued. They see the family of the suspect get billions of dollars, and they're still getting their $130,000 salary a year, and it doesn't make sense to them. And it's really hard to decompartmentalize that and say, well, I'm just going to keep going. And then when you go and the higher ups, they talk to you and they don't have your back, or they used to do what you did in a less scrutinized time, and now they see it scrutinized, they're just harping on you. I'm going to write you up for this, I'm going to write you up for that. The deputies and the officers, it's all across the board, all across the country, are like, well, that's not fair. Well, times have changed. You need to get over it. You need to adapt. Yes, you do need to adapt. But if you're going to say that, adapt to everything. Adapt to technology. Why are we still handwriting reports? Why are we not dictating reports? Why are we not using AI and special technology to advance our time as detectives, to speed up our time? You still need that human element, but why, if you're telling us to adapt to the times, working overtime, mandatory overtime, 120 hours extra a month, why aren't you giving us the tools to do that in the most effective and efficient way, where we're not staying up 5-6 days straight, 18-hour shifts, and then something like a natural disaster happens, and now we have to stay an ordered 22 days on, and we're breaking our own policy because it's a state emergency. I know that's what we signed up for, but give us the tools to work with us. That's the hardest part, is the paradigm shift in almost every aspect of law enforcement, from management to technology to equipment to overall morale. It's probably one of the hardest. We could do a whole podcast for 2 hours on that. I won't even tap the smallest thing on that, unfortunately. But that's just an overall view. It's just unfortunate with the times when we've changed, I think, for the worse and not for the better.
Well, I tell you what, just from me, and I'm sure the Misfit Nation, thank you for what you're doing out there.
Appreciate that.
And speaking of that, we got another question. This is from Bama Sucks 9. When people look back at your career 20 years from now, what do you hope they'll say about the impact you made through service, leadership, and Syndicus USA? Thank you for that question, Bama Sucks.
I want people to see that I left a tool for them to use and upgrade on. What I mean by that is I want to set the stage where I built something, whether that's training, whether that's training someone at work, training someone at my company, building, designing, patenting something that's going to be useful. I don't want it to stop there. I want people to say, hey, look, this was the stepping stone that Andrew left, whether that was in law enforcement, whether that was in AI, or whether that was in manufacturing weapons for individuals, right? I want them to say, hey, he may no longer be here with us. God forbid, I hope I am. But I want them to take those tools and advance on them, work on them, and do better. My goal as an instructor, as an educator, as someone that's there for the community, I want people to do better than I did. I want people to advance. I want to leave a path of tools that people can take and upgrade and better their lives. That's the whole goal of being a police officer. One is to help the community feel safer and let them better their lives. As an entrepreneur, as a CEO, is to leave a foundation for the next person up in line. Hopefully my company grows like Winchester or Glock or these major companies where they leave stepping stones for other people, not only to grow and advance, but to survive off of, give their family chances to, hey, I work for this company. I'm able to do A, B, and C, right? I'm able to take care of the things that I have in life. And that's what I want, I guess, for lack of better words, my legacy to be, is to leave a platform for people to grow off of, to build off of, a positive one that's going to actually take them on another level and push the limits, push their engineering, their ideology, and anything else that I can help them with, even when I'm gone, and even when they're gone too. That's the goal, right? It's the footprint that we leave behind that sets everyone else, hopefully, for success, is what we're ultimately after, right? As a human race.
That is, I'm going to use that if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Hey, in case you're just joining us, we are talking with Andrew Garcia, and he is the CEO of Syndicus USA. And if you're just joining, rewind it and watch it through. Andrew has an amazing story. He's doing great things out there. And keep those questions coming. And I've got a few more here. Oh, first of all, I want to ask you, so if, let's say, Jake wanted to buy one of your pistols that you are selling to the law enforcement out there in California, how would I do that? Or can I do that?
In California, you cannot. So I have this pistol reserved for law enforcement only. There is an exemption here in California called an SSE, or a single shot exemption, which ironically, I was part of one of the guys that actually made the single shot exemption happen here in California. But I am not allowing that in California. I don't want to go down that route. I'm very hopeful that we'll have a change tonight. I'm praying. I've been positive about it, that we're going to get rid of a lot of these laws. But outside of California, it's going to go to specific gun stores, and they'll first be able to sell to law enforcement. But if they can't, they'll open it up to regular civilians that don't need it for duty use. It's built for duty use. That was my goal. But I'm not going to tell someone no that wants this gun, that likes their gun. Just the only hard no is going to be here in California because of how the laws work. But if you want to do, we're not going to have it on our website till the end of the year. The first shipment of guns do go out at the first week of July. And we're allocated. We're going slow, very smart, strategic. When it comes to stores, we'll have 50 guns allocated every month for the whole country. And we kind of did that on purpose.
Okay.
We've done a lot of R&D and testing. So the first couple of guns are probably going to go to Hawaii, California, New York, Miami, South Florida, Nevada, and Arizona. So that's where the first will be. But those stores can sell to other stores across the country as well. If someone else wants it and say, hey, they have it. We're hoping by next year in January, we're able to expand that by 2-3x. Where it's not going to hinder is if a department comes and says, we want to order 1,500 units, well, we're ready for that. We can do that. That's not an issue. And that's the primary mission, is to provide them first and then service the consumer afterwards.
All right. We had another question come in here. And well, before we get to that, hopefully it comes to that and, somebody can get their name on a waiting list or something from somewhere and get one. Cause I kind of like collecting my handguns.
I mean, if you don't mind, I can show you. I just don't know if I can put it on the screen.
Don't do that.
That's why I asked, because I know already. I already know. We've done that before, and we're like, oopsie.
Yeah, probably better not do that. But hey, we got another question here from Sergi Callum. Every misfit has a story. What challenge or setback in your life turned out to be one of the greatest blessings in disguise? That's a very good question, Sergi Callum.
I think that second surgery. The second surgery pretty much solidified what my next path was, and I had to commit to it, and I am. And the commitment is, I understand that I can probably no longer be a peace officer, and we're going to find out by the end of the year based off the injury and the way things are going now. It's just that is, if that's God's calling for me to go on to the next step, then that's what it is. But I've accepted it already, and I think that's where I have to come to terms of, okay, this is what it is. Now go on and go forth and do what you do best outside of that, and that's building weapons, building a business, building myself up, and trying to give another tool for these guys to use in the field.
All right. And like I said, and having a law enforcement officer actually design the tool for, that probably, because, I know a lot of these companies that make stuff, I know they consult, but having an actual officer doing the building, doing the designing, doing all that that's going to add a lot of street cred to your product, especially if it works. And from what you told me, it works great. So
no, it failed at the very beginning, and that was the whole point. And that's where I love being transparent. That's one of the biggest things with me too. As a cop, unfortunately in some areas I'm just black and white, and I'm going to own up to where we fail. And we did. We actually failed 3 times with our ejector, but we finally perfected our ejector, and that's why I was able to pass. And we're very open about that, and we're very open to why we're talking about the failures, because we Monday night quarterback uses of force and unfortunately calls for service in law enforcement. Why not Monday night quarterback ourselves in the production of our pistol, understanding and identifying the problems, rectifying the problems, but rectifying the problems quickly and swiftly, not waiting 8, 9, 11 months. Oh, well, after all these ticket items that said they had an issue, now we're going to address it. No, where's the issue? There it is. Let's run it real quick. Oh yeah, that is an issue. Let's solve it. I don't believe in wasting time, and that drives me nuts. If there's an issue, again, problem, solution.
All right. Yeah. And, get all that taken care of up front. And that way somebody's not out there with their life dependent on it and it fails.
Exactly.
Now, you talked about delegation to your partners and who you work with. How do you build that trust inside that growing organization?
It takes a lot. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of turning off the ego. It takes a lot of, again, the constructive criticism, because I need feedback. Just because I'm the owner, I can't just, no, that's bad. I need to be receptive of what's going on. I'm not in there all day long. So if the guys need something that I could provide, order for them, replace for them, or address that needs to be fixed, or an issue that they just don't understand, you can't just fix the problem. You have to show them how to fix the problem. And you have to immerse them in what the problem is so that they can become self-sufficient. But here's the scary part is a lot of people have an issue with this. Oh, Andrew, that's dumb. Why would I do that? I'm giving them our trade secrets, blah, 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 blah. Well, if they're your business partners, you better be telling them what you're doing, because that's how you build trust. And that's how me and my partner Chris are. He's my business partner. He has a very good way of training. I like how he trains. He's very solid on it. And he's really good at explaining stuff. At the beginning, I wasn't on how to do stuff just because, I'll just do it because it's easier. And it's like, no, dude, you have to explain how to do certain things, because look what happened. I got overwhelmed and burned out. And he's like, you never taught me how to do it. I'm like, I'm doing triple the work now. So turning off that ego switch, humbling yourself, and understanding that you're not Superman, just like I do at work, right? I can't handle every call for service. Same concept as a CEO, as an owner. You can't do everything in 24 hours. But if you have people that are willing to be there and help you out, then you need to take the time to invest in them and say, let me teach you and let me show you. They're going to ask a couple times, but eventually they're going to get it and be able to work on their own. And you have to trust that they're going to do that. Because if not, then how do you let go and delegate? You can't. And I think that's a big issue for a lot of people. And it's an ongoing issue that you'll always have to work on. It's part of life and part of business.
Yes. But like you said, communication is key.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, this hour has flown by.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, man, you have an amazing story. I love it. I will probably, well, I know I will go back and watch it again just so I can pick up things that my addled brain probably missed the first time you said it. But this has been great. And I wish you and your partners, I wish you all the success in the world. Thank you for doing what you do. And we got a few questions. We got a few more questions for you before you leave, though. First of all, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, maybe for some tips or whatever on how to grow a company, or maybe some insider tips, how do they get in touch with you?
So the best way, it'll be my email address. It's Andrew at Syndicus USA, and that's SYNDICUS USA. You can shoot me an email. I'm pretty responsive. I'll respond within maybe 2 hours if I'm not busy or doing something. I'm apologizing now. We're working with AI. I'm really deep into AI. So if you get a response, it'll be a quick response to acknowledge the email, but it's also it's learning how I respond and how I think. So you might get that. Another way is our social media. Right now we have Syndicus Def Corp. So the name SYNDICUS DEF CORP, and that's our social media platform. Those are the two main ways. We're business entrepreneurs that are on LinkedIn. I'm also on LinkedIn under Andrew Garcia, and then it shows up Syndicus USA as well. So you can go there and do on any business related questions there too. So either of those three platforms are the main ones that I'm on. And if it comes to a time where one of you guys wants mentoring and counseling, I haven't done that yet as far as the business side, but I'd be more than happy to. And then at that point, I'll give you my number and we can talk on a different scale.
Okay. All right. Now for the hard one. And we ask this question of all of our guests. What three things does Andrew have to do every day that are non-negotiable?
Has it matter just in general?
just in general. What when your feet hit the floor, what three things do you have to do every day?
Well, jokingly, I have to go to the office every morning. I think that's all.
Okay.
My dogs. Gotta
okay.
Take care of the dogs, some form or fashion.
What kind you got?
I have a Siberian Husky and then 3 German Shepherds.
Wow. High energy, high drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for cutting you off. What was number 2?
So yeah, that number 2, right? I think that is that, and then the other thing that I do, unfortunately, and this is just part of my world, is my emails every morning. Every morning,
Okay.
that's the first thing I try to attend to. It's become habit now. It's become second nature. It's just part of growing a business and understanding that customer service is paramount. And then the gym. That's a must. That's
All
a
right.
non-negotiable right there.
All right. Well, hey, Andrew, thank you for joining us. Misfit Nation, ToosDay Crüe, thank you for all the questions tonight. Thank you for being there for us. And remember, if you're out there and that darkness is creeping in, there's people out there to help you. Get on that phone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, hit option 1, and there's somebody on the other end of that line that will help you. They will get you the help that you need. If you don't feel like doing that, get on that email. Send us a message at the Misfit Nation, Jake at the Misfit Nation, Steven at the Misfit Nation, or info at the Misfit Nation. Drop your name in there and we will contact you, because tomorrow will not be as beautiful of a day if you're not in it. So we want you to be here. We love you. And Andrew, thank you again. And yeah, you have an amazing story and you're doing great things. Keep it up, and I hope you have great success.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you to you guys. Appreciate you guys greatly. You guys as well.
Yeah. And ToosDay Crüe, Misfit Nation, we're out.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.